Hey everyone, here is Julian from Still Alive Studios and I'm about to present to you Drone Swarm, our baby. Drone Swarm is a strategy game set in space. You control this huge swarm of 32,000 space drones, every single one of them being individually simulated on the GPU. You can do a whole lot of different things with that amount of drones. And this opens up completely new strategic and tactical possibilities. This is why we also like to call Drone Swarm a swarm strategy game. Just to make clear that there is really a difference between the previous ones and Drone Swarm. Now let's take a look at the game. Here we can see the swarm in action, mining an asteroid and extracting all those valuable minerals. Minerals are used in the game to repair the swarm and repair the Argo. The Argo is your mothership. That's basically where you as a captain of this whole mission are situated on. The premise of the game is that Earth is dying. Because this drone swarm that we're now commanding actually is alien and at some point attacked Earth and destroyed everything pretty much. Or to say, yeah, we actually, human did destroy everything by using nukes on them, but didn't work and so on. But the important thing is, Earth is dying and we need to find a new colonizable planet. And that is where the game starts. You are set out to find new Earth. So you'll explore the galaxy, meeting a lot of different aliens, different situations, encounters and so on. All the while searching for a suitable planet. You will have to make tough decisions. What to do, how to proceed. Basically, is humanity more important than other species? But in the core, it will always be about using the swarm and evolving it. So I would say, let's dive deeper and take a closer look of what the swarm can actually do. One example of a swarm ability is the ability to warp. The swarm will form a warp bubble around the ship and then jump to a nearby system. That's basically how you travel the galaxy in search for new Earth. The time spent on the warp jumps, which is a couple of days in game, are spent on making repairs to the Argo and the swarm. This is basically how time progresses in game. Beyond that, the swarm can be used for defensive abilities, because you have to know that the Argo is actually your weak point, it's your Achilles heel. We need to protect the mothership, so we have to create this wall to block the incoming torpedoes, and as you can see, bam, 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 they're blocked one by one, not getting through. Another very important ability of the swarm is you can split it. So let's split it half-half and use the second swarm to actually attack the enemy. What the very basic attack is basically an attack path, is how we dubbed it. And an attack path drills through whatever it's in its way. So it really calculates every single collision between drones and the objects. And every collision does damage. Oh, there is another salvo coming in, and as you can see, it blows dents in it. Whoa, the last one even passed through. It is basically a hole that has formed through all the repeated hits at the same location. So what we can do is reform the wall like we did just now, or we can move, for instance, the incoming attacker, so that attacker would hit a different spot of the wall. Or another possibility yet, we make the wall denser, so it will withstand more hits. So let's take it out with another attack path. Important note, if you make them curved, the attack path, they do a lot more damage. You can see that the drones really get this very powerful charge on them. Every destroyed enemy also drops a couple of resources and materials. That's very important for progression, because as you can see, these enemies are aliens, so they have alien technology. And what we do by collecting these things, not only get resources, but we also get salvage, like technology that we can research. And that research can then be used to further upgrade the Argo and the Swarm. Oh, there is enemies coming in. That's our first real encounter with enemies. Of course, we chose basically how to approach them. In this case, it's the Vor though, and the Vor as a race are very dominant, very, yeah, basically pretentious, and they want to have the Swarm for themselves because they have not seen such a technology before. So that is something they really want to have. We have to fight them. There is not really much of a choice here they give us. Other races, of course, will not be as hostile, and you will be able to build a positive relationship to them. Oh, here we see a laser being redirected. There is the cruiser, it's gone now, with a curved path right through its middle section. The goal here is, of course, also to find out how the enemies work. I mean, I know those enemies, so I know how to take them out. For instance, the cruiser has a very weak spot in the front and in the rear. On the sides, it would be unwise to attack them because there is very powerful flak cannons that tear your drones to shreds. Therefore, these are the things that you have to take into account when you play Drone Swarm. You see these tactical decisions and learning how to approach enemies. Because ultimately, your goal is to lose as little drones as possible and get as little damage on the Argo as possible.
Let's continue our search for the Iron Gate system.
You're just that one ship, and there is only so many drones that you have. And you're up against an entire empire. Or multiple actually. So if you will be hit repeatedly, one after another and so on, you will be worn down. And that is your biggest threat. As you progress through the game, you can also upgrade your Swarm. For now, we only have the first level available to us, which is these two technologies that we can unlock. One is to allow even more subswarms to be formed, this time 3. And the other one is the Cannonball. The Cannonball is basically allowing you to push objects or ships or whatever into other stuff. So basically you charge, the drones condense into a very tight ball and then unleash forward, hitting whatever is in their path, pushing it away. This can be used in a lot of different ways, for repositioning, for making them collide with one another, for shooting asteroids against them, and so on and so forth. Just playing with the physics again, as that is always fun. Now we safely arrived at the next star system, but there is already incoming Vor fleets. The Vor are super relentless. They now saw us, we defied them, and now they're trying to take us out. And now we use the newly acquired Cannonball. As you can see, we pushed this one guy, smashed into it and hit the other one with it, doing a massive amount of damage we otherwise even couldn't do. Let's get out of this flak fire, it's very dangerous. Let's do another Cannonball just to take them out. That is nice. The big one, of course, the cruiser, has quite some damage he can sustain. Let's take him from the rear with a curved path right through his weak spot. So careful again. As you can see, the mass of the enemies also has a big impact. For the cruisers, pushing a cruiser is, let's say, hard. Only upgrades will make it even possible for you to get rid of them. Another very cool thing that just happened, I mean, try to take a close look. We reflected the laser of one cruiser onto itself again. So it is a big thing using the weapons of the enemies against them. later on in the game there will actually even be enemies that only can be taken out by their own weapons. So you have to devise interesting strategies and ways on how to deal with that dilemma. Oh, here we have a very cool opportunity at our hands. We have the wall in front, the attacking swarm behind, and the laser on cooldown. So what we can do is switch places, let both swarms perform an attack path, and with the one in front, reform the wall. I love that stuff. Ooh, way more enemies incoming. Now we have to be careful. Let's see. Ooh, my wall is padded already. We probably need to reform it. So I formed a double wall briefly just to take the brunt of the salvo. He has 3 ships almost hitting the same locations. Is otherwise quite demanding on a single wall. So let's go there and take him out and look for a cool opportunity to use the cannonball again. Oh, there it is. We can push that one guy into the other. Let's see. Oh yeah, both are gone. Awesome. Oh, just one enemy left. It's basically easy going. So yeah, threat eliminated, I would say. So we're basically ready to travel to the next system, but before that, let's gather the salvage to get all the research materials ready.
The gate. Let me try to establish a mental link.
So we arrived at the big Iron Gate system. I think it's fairly clear why it's called Iron Gates. There's this huge space gate in the background. We want to use it, of course. The question is whether or not we can. It seems there is a strong war presence here, so the alien race war. And I don't know if they were gonna let us or not. According to that, probably not, so let's better prepare for a fight and see whether we can win this. So let's form a wall just to be safe. We'll need it quite certainly, as the war have a lot of missile weapons going on. Different races will, of course, have different behaviors in the future and different weaponry. Maybe not always a war will be the best choice, but in this case I know who I'm dealing with and I take care of it properly. Oh, I really like when a plan goes that nicely. One single path, hitting all 3 enemies in a nice curve too, and hitting 2 weak spots. I mean, that's awesome. Let's take those ones out. That's a fairly... It seems to be a scout fleet here, because that's not really much of a threat. There is not much missiles going on, at least they didn't get in position yet for that. So let's reinforce our attack swarm, just because I want to have more power there. And the wall seemed pretty overpowered for the last battle, so let's keep it that way. So if we have now 14,000 in the attack swarm, 14,000 in the defense, I think that's a nice split here. We could always change it. Awesome! You know, all the little hits of an attack actually exert a force on the enemy, right? And we managed to accelerate the enemy big ship into the small one, instantly destroying it. That's efficiency, guys. That's awesome. That's why I love this game. Okay, yet another wave. We have 2 frigates and 1 cruiser. Frigates are torpedo frigates. Those are quite dangerous, so let's take them out fairly fast. Oh, they are even equipped with a flak cannon. That is dangerous frigates, but fortunately I got rid of them fast enough.
Enemy ship
Oh,
destroyed.
awesome.
We can't keep this up for much
So,
longer. Best
yeah, this
focus
was
on
almost too easy here, guys. I don't know if there is more coming or not, but seems not. We're using the gate and warping off. Thank you for watching.